welcome to Pitch BrandTalk. If you're a beer drinker, the one thing which you would probably look for when you choose your beer is ultra light or strong. But how about lemon masala and mango berry twist? Surprise? Well, United Breweries has launched this for their premium brand Kingfisher, flagship brand rather. And to discuss more about this, I have with me Vikram Bahl. He's the Chief Marketing Officer at United Breweries. Vikram, hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. Vikram, I just want to first start off with how's the year been for UB? What's been the growth that you've seen and the growth drivers?
Thank you, Simran, for this opportunity. Uh, we've had a good year so far. We've you know uh, showing strong growth both in volume and revenue, and we are growing market share. And the growth is very well balanced. So we are growing the Kingfisher brand, our mainstream brand, as well as we are seeing very, very strong traction in our premium portfolio, which is the premium variant of Kingfisher, Kingfisher Ultra, Heineken, and we recently launched Amstel Grande. So all these are doing really well. So overall, a pretty stellar performance.
So it's Kingfisher which has primarily led the growth for you.
No, it's like I said, it's a well-rounded group.
The mix.
It's Kingfisher, it's Ultra, it's Heineken, and Amstel Grande as well.
Vikram, now when we talk about ads and taglines and jingle, there are very few ads which we all remember, right? And one of them is the jingle of Kingfisher, which is Ooh La La. I'm sure all of us have hummed it at some time. We've seen earlier reiterations of it. It's synonymous with good times. Now you have also reimagined this and collaborated with regional music artists. What was the strategy? Is it like going local in all way, communicating with a broader segment of people and staying relevant to the younger audience? Was that the agenda?
No, it's a great question. It's a combination of all the things you said. Ooh La 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 Leo is absolutely iconic. I think all of us know this, remember this, hum this. If you ask anybody, what do you remember about Kingfisher, they'll spontaneously hum this jingle. So it's really iconic. And the idea that we had was that why don't we? And music scene in India has evolved a lot in the recent years, right? There was a time when there used to be just a playback singer in a movie who would be performing, but today that's not the scene. You have artists all over the place, and today's digital technology, streaming, etc., etc., those kind of innovations have democratized music. So you have multiple artists, very, very talented, and who become very famous in a reasonable period of time due to all these avenues that are available. So we felt that here's something we can do with this, and we approached a few artists. These artists are young and trendy and connect with Gen Z. So and we said, okay, guys, Ooh La La La, can you compose songs which incorporate Ooh La La La, but it's not about Ooh La La La, but very subtly incorporate it and compose new songs around these. All of them were very excited to do this for the band because everybody knows Ooh La La La, and they composed these songs, and all of them did phenomenally well. So we went to an artist called Pal Dabba and Sick Flip. So they did a rendition in Tamil, which in just a few days' time hit 4 million views, and I think had 150,000 plus streams, and many people created their own renditions of this song. So super hit. Then we went to an artist called Bhark and Atika, and they did their own rendition of this, which incorporated Ooh La La in it, and it was a big success. And then we took these songs which clearly started trending. They started appearing among the top trending songs, and we then incorporated these songs in our advertising on IPL, and we had the top teams dancing to these songs along with these artists, and so it was something very unique, and has been spectacularly successful. So yes, Ooh La 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 is iconic, but we injected fresh energy into it through these collaborations.
You mentioned you use the word iconic, and you kind of injected fresh power into this. But what is it about Ulala? Because there are very few brands who actually retain a particular tagline or a jingle, because it's always about being relevant. You have to be, and you keep changing. Either it's the logo or the advertising, the tagline or whatever, to keep continue being relevant with generation after generation. But what's it about Ulala that's so synonymous with Kingfisher?
Yeah, so I think first of all, I think the melody of that is timeless. I think it will always remain. Second is, I think the brand has been very, very consistent with it. And if you reflect on, some brands have had the same jingles or the same, sign off for years and years. And these are very, very precious things that brands create, and you should never let go of them. So Kingfisher has been very consistent on that. And we always say that Ooh La 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 is the clarion call of good times. So the way it is executed, the way it is rendered, is about people having a good time, whether it is cricketers dancing to it or whether it is music festivals, etc. And who doesn't want good times in this world? No matter when, it will always be relevant. So I think
Uh,
combination of all this has made sure that it continues to be relevant and memorable. What we did this time was a fresh twist on it, but it'll still be Ooh La La La, and it'll still remain the same Ooh La La La. But we'll keep, playing around with it to make it exciting, interesting, contemporary, and so on.
Now, coming to IPL, you're probably one of the only or very few brands who've been associated with IPL, particularly team association, since season one. So now we're into year 17 or 18, and you have continued this partnership for such a long time, close to 2 decades now. What is it about the IPL that makes you go back to it again? We've seen cricketers dancing in Ulala, and what is the kind of you've seen any uptick in sales over the years? What's the insight that you've garnered from IPL for your brand, which you've later leveraged?
I think, Simran, it's quite obvious actually, because
The
all of us
reach.
talk about it. It's cricket is one of the religions of the country. So we are a brand which is an Indian brand with Indian roots, and for India, cricket is such a big passion. So connecting with cricket is a no-brainer. And then IPL, has been right from the day it started. I think it was very visionary of the brand to associate with it, and it has only gone from strength to strength. So there is absolutely no reason for us to revisit IPL, and in fact, our intent is always to keep doubling down on it and strengthen our association going forward. We do see that our brand becomes stronger every time we associate with IPL, and that will be our intent going forward as well.
Okay. Now, also, can you just speak about this year's association in IPL, and how do you differentiate yourself in this really, really cluttered space?
See, we are fortunate that we have this long history with IPL and of, like I said, Ooh La La La. So what we've done is extreme. It's very, very unique. If you see all the advertising around IPL, what Kingfisher has done is very unique, where we've leveraged Ooh La La La. We've brought in these trending young aspirational music artists, composed songs around it, and activated that. I think that gives us a very unique point of view and has allowed us to stand out in the clutter.
And can you also comment on your sports association? That is something which you're really betting on big, because you also tied up with the Indian, sorry, the racing scheme in the IRL. If yes, so sports association and why IRL?
No, it's one of those things that Kingfisher is a brand which is a trendsetter. So we are always constantly looking at new avenues. See, sports is a passion point for young male consumers. So, and our intent is to connect with their passion points. So we are constantly on the lookout for what is new, what is trending, what is it that Kingfisher can take the lead on. So IRL was one of those partnerships we did, and we'll have many more such partnerships down the line as well. We are constantly looking at innovating and connecting with passion points of consumers. Cricket is a no-brainer because it's religion, it's huge. But we look beyond cricket also for opportunities to appeal to different sections of consumers.
Now you're primarily marketing. You're very big on ground experiential marketing, digital consumer activations. Like you mentioned, that music has taken off in a big way in India. We've never seen such a big lineup of stars, one after the other, across playing in India. What is your? How do you connect with these audiences? Because plain vanilla advertising doesn't work. How do you go about connecting with them in such events?
See, again, music is a big passion point, and as a brand which is all about youth and connecting with them, it makes a lot of sense for us to be associated with that. So we've partnered with a lot of big music artists, and the way we partner with them is through, of course, our presence during the event, and then amplification beyond that, so that people who aren't at the event also get to see it. And then we bring in our own innovations and our way of doing things. So, in a few of these sponsorship events, we've done this amazing, unique drone show
Okay.
where 200, 300 drones go up in the air, where we communicate Kingfisher and King of Good Times, as well as dedicate something to the artist and all that. And that creates so much buzz and excitement around the whole event and the brand's association with it. So, we are constantly looking at ways and means of, beyond just branding and beyond just partnership to, make our association much more engaging and relevant for consumers and being much more innovative.
So it's technology plus innovation to create an immersive experience. Any other example or something you can share? Because a drone is it's really creative. I can actually visualize it as you spoke. So anything
Yeah.
else that you can share, or any of the challenge that also comes, using technology?
Yeah. No, I think the drone show was a great example because what we did was we last year had this partner. We sponsored Brian Adams in Shillong,
Hmm.
and we had the drone show. And when the drone show happened, we also had Ooh La 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 playing, and that was a very unique rendition of Ooh La La La. And there were 30, 40,000 people there, and all of them were like humming along Ooh La 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 along with it. So really, and I think many people across Shillong saw it because you had this drone show
Obviously,
happening in the sky.
it's yeah.
It was a dramatic execution.
Now, even so, this is innovation which you spoke about, and now innovation in product. Lemon masala mango berry twist. What was the insight behind this? I mean, I know every company is trying to localize the product. I'm just talking about FMCG particularly. I could imagine a chocolate being localized to Indian taste, or even I don't know, but beer was a category which I never ever thought that you could see lemon masala, which is an all-time Indian favorite flavor, and mango berry twist. So how did you come about this? What were the insights, and how's most importantly, what's been the response like?
Yeah, so the insight behind this is that Gen Zs are constantly looking at new experiences, be it physical experiences or the products they consume. Also, when it comes to beer, they look for things which are a little sweeter, a little more sessionable, a little easier to drink. And hence, we came up with this idea of flavors. So we did a lot of work to figure out what flavors will connect with them. And, not a big surprise that lemon masala, which is a very well known common flavor, and mangoes, which is again so Indian, both those
Yes.
were things that came out on top. And with mango, we added a twist, which is we got berries. So it was a combination of mango and something, a little bit more differentiated, which is berries. And both these flavors in appeal were fantastic. But then when we developed the brews, we tested it with consumers and it was really liked. So that was, and then our whole platform is that these are street flavors because you see lemon masala on the street, even mango related things you see on street. So that's the platform that we created, and when we launched this, we came with a whole execution of doing things around the street, which is skateboarding or streetwear, graffiti, all those kind of things we brought to life. So really immersing ourselves in street culture. We have right now launched it in Goa, Daman, Diu, and we have just started launching it in Maharashtra. So it's a phased launch. The response has been fantastic. Absolutely, it exceeded our expectations. And people are fascinated by the new flavors.
Flavors, obviously.
Yeah, because it's something new. It's if it exists, it's in a very niche way in some select microbreweries or whatever, but nobody's brought it. By Kingfisher bringing something, you make it available to a lot more
Wider
people, and
audience.
it's had very good traction. So we are hopeful that we can continue expanding this and growing this along the way.
When you mentioned mango and street, and the first thing which came to my mind was those raw mangoes cut on the street and put with salt and red chilies, right?
Correct.
So, yeah,
Exactly.
totally. Now, one trend which we've seen across every sector has been premiumization, and that's something which even you have been doing at. So, how is this worked out, and how much of your revenues is now coming from the premium portfolio? Because you just recently launched Amstel, Heineken is there, and you have quite a lot of variants in the Kingfisher portfolio also. So, how has this worked out for you overall?
No, we are very excited by our premium portfolio, the way it's performing. Uh, you know, uh, India has many Indias in it, right? So there are enough and more affluent Indians who are looking for, you know, unique, more premium products and so on. And that segment, I think, across industries is growing faster. So the opportunity clearly exists, and we have a fantastic portfolio. So we have international brands like Heineken, which is, the most widely available brand across the world. In 100 plus countries. Uh, we have Amstel, which we have just launched in a new avatar, which is a product that we designed combining our local R&D and brewing capabilities and our Dutch brewers capabilities to design something specially for India, and that's off to a very good start. And then, of course, Kingfisher's premium variant Ultra is doing spectacular. Ultra and Ultra Max are doing spectacularly well. So overall, our premium growth is extremely strong, and we are continuously gaining share there.
But what's the rate of growth for this sector, that is the premium sector? And at the moment, how much is it contributing to your revenues in just percentage form?
So, look, our premium portfolio is growing at plus 30%, and I think that would
That's
be
sorry,
sorry.
30%.
Yes.
30%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's significantly ahead of industry growth.
Okay.
So we are growing quite rapidly. Of course, majority of our portfolio is still Kingfisher, which we don't, which is a affordable premium, but the real premium segment is still a small part of the portfolio, but growing quite rapidly.
You just mentioned a line, there are many Indias. Last week I happened to meet two marketers, uh, both in the one is in the chocolate space, one in the candy space, and they said something very interesting, saying that the rural India and say tier two, tier three India is starting to mirror the urban markets. There's a lot they've been surprised by the uptick in premium products, even in the lower in the smaller markets. So, are you also seeing this when it comes to Kingfisher? That it's no longer just, at least when it comes to taste preferences, rural is mimicking urban.
I wouldn't say rural. Okay,
Okay.
beer is not a rural product, but tier two, tier three, definitely. Because if you now, you go to the smaller towns, you're amazed by the kind of infrastructure that's coming up, the kind of restaurants, kind of pubs that are coming up. So the culture and the access to being able to socialize, to go out, has improved significantly. Access to experiences, events, all that has increased significantly, and that is reflected in our growths also. So we see, that the growth opportunity and the rate of growth in the tier two cities is very, very significant.
Now, I just want to also, please correct me if I'm wrong. I was very surprised that in the overall alcohol market, beer contributes a very small percentage. Is that so? And that means you've got a lot of headroom for growth. Where do you see then this heading, particularly when beer is concerned? Where do you see India going? And
Yes.
what I mean is also any trends like, Gen Zs is obviously one group you are targeting. Are women also now leaving wine and now sampling beer? Can you just give us some trends in this space?
Yes. Uh, if you ask me, the alcohol of choice in India should always be beer, because
That's what surprised.
we are such a hot country, and beer at the heart of it is a refreshing drink, you know, and lends itself very well to socializing. So this is not, it's 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 prime for the Indian market. And I think what is happening is couple of things which, and beer is growing faster, by the way, than the overall market. And I think the few things that are causing this growth are a, rise of socializing. Like we were just having the tier two conversation, right? In tier
Hmm.
two also now people are going out,
Going
eating
out.
out, drinking out, etc. And beer is brilliantly suited for that. The second thing is, we as a company are investing in infrastructure with retailers to make sure that cold beer is available. So we are significantly increasing the number of coolers that are available, because beer is no fun when it's not cold. So we are, and we see a clear difference in the development of beer in places where cold beer is available versus where it's not available. So we are really investing in that, with better electricity availability, etc., etc. So the coolers can be on at all times, and people can have access to cold beer. I think that is also driving it. So overall, I think the future is bright for beer.
That's great to hear because I was very surprised to read that beer is contributes a very small percentage of the alcohol market. I would have thought it's a larger share. Challenges in your sector, because this is highly regulated in India. Any particular challenges that you see even now?
I think one of the big challenges that we face always is that beer is relatively taxed higher compared to spirits. So I think that puts us at a pricing disadvantage. So I think that holds us back a little bit. And I think you know, again, the regulatory situation is what it is. So we have to, we abide by what regulations have in store for us. And the I think what we have seen where the regulatory policy is consistent and is predictable, I think that makes it easier to do business and grow. Where it becomes unpredictable and has a lot of volatility, it makes it challenging. And it's a
Looking
state by
at
state, and it's a
it's a
state
state
by
by
state.
state issue, correct. And looking ahead, what can we expect from UB as a whole?
No, I think we have three pillars of growth for ourselves. One is to grow the beer category because we do feel beer is a drink of moderation. Okay, it's relatively low levels of alcohol. It's refreshing. It allows socializing, etc. So we definitely want to, as the category leader, we want to make sure that we continue growing beer as the drink of choice. The second thing is continue to ensure that Kingfisher remains as iconic as it is today and even more so going forward. And the third thing is taking advantage of this wave of premiumization that is happening through this portfolio that we have. And all this will be supported by the right investments in increasing our capacities, in ensuring that our distribution, our availability of cold beer, etc., all those elements, we ensure that those capabilities are there and that infrastructure is there to support what our strategic intent is.
My last question, I don't know, are you available on quick commerce? Not yet. We would like to be available on quick commerce.
See,
Or that's also a regulatory.
again, this is a state by state subject. So there are a couple of states which allow it. So we are there. West Bengal, for
Okay.
example, allows it. So we are there in West Bengal. But rest of the country, it's not there. Of course, I mean, any way that, see, one of the challenges for this sector is there are only 100,000 stores. FMCG has 12 million stores. So, accessibility is definitely a problem. And
Access.
if quick commerce or e-commerce or anything, if ever that becomes a possibility, that'll ensure that consumers have easier access. So it will always be better for the industry.
Thank you so much, Vikram, for your time.